This is an impromptu stop. We weren't planning this, but this is Stratford-upon-Avon Cemetery. And it's got this beautiful open area chapel. It seems to be a memorial to World War I on here. And there seems to be part of a memorial here from 1830. You can see all the names on this. There's no World War II one we can see, unless they haven't finished. Oh, there you go. That was going to be an impromptu stop. So we have got something else to show you what we found. So bear with us. Oh, hang on, we've got something down here as well. There seems to be stones sitting down here, so maybe it hasn't been finished yet. Looks like it's definitely part of the chapel. Could be a window up there. Isn't it, Pete? Okay, so this one, as we said, was an impromptu one. We didn't plan on this, but this is a very last minute one, and we were at Stratford-upon-Avon Cemetery. It's about 5-10 minutes away from Binton, would you say?
Yeah, about 5 minutes.
Yeah. And this lady over here is a very striking grave. And it's not one you can miss. There's the gate. See the gate there? You just come straight around here, and here she is. Now, as you can see here, Maria, I should say. I learned to read and write one day, and she was a writer, and apparently she was a favourite of the royal family. And several of her books were turned into silent movies, and apparently she's buried alongside her companion. I'm just trying to see her name's on here, but I can't see her companion's name. Apparently her companion was her father's nurse, and then after her father's death she became the companion, and she was born in Greater London, and she was a great advocate of preserving the buildings in Stratford-upon-Avon, their old historical buildings. I haven't really got much else on her really. It's something I'm going to have to look up, but as I said, she was well known in her day. But as I said, I can't see anything that says her companion's buried with her, but they reckon she's buried with her. Apparently she inherited the whole of her estate when she passed away. But as you said, it's absolutely, hang on, actually I can see it. It's actually right down here. Very small, Pete. Okay, I think it's on my film. Well, it should be filming. And it's Beth. There, so can you see it, Pete? It's right at the bottom. It's like tiny. Yeah, it's very tiny. It's like, you know she's there, but it's like it's not the main attraction. Just now going for a quick little walk round. He's just spoke to this lovely gentleman over there. He's over there doing the strimming. He told us there's quite a few wall graves dotted around the cemetery. There's a wall grave section, he was telling us, but there's also several spotted around the cemetery, and they come from the First World War, the Second World War, and he said, etc. So obviously there's some from later periods. And did he say some gypsies, didn't he? Oh, travellers, sorry. I do correct myself.
Yeah, I can see one.
Well, I'm not sure, you know, to got to be politically correct, but he did say they are lovely graves, he said. So if we're going to look, and actually I can see the wall.
Well, you can see one from here.
The wall graves from here.
No, those beautiful statues.
Oh yes, he's cut. Oh, I can see. Yes.
Statues.
Well, we'll get over there in a minute. It's not actually that big. Not as big as the one we got lost in the other day. So let's go and have a look at this over here. There we go. It's a big piece up here. There we go. Apparently it's got a Canadian connection. Oh yeah, I see what it means. It's all a timeline. I'm going to go a bit backwards on this, but it's all the timeline. Apparently there's 170 service personnel who died during 2 wars here. 22 servicemen were buried here during the First World War. 141 from Commonwealth and Czech servicemen and women. 10 Germans. Oh, this is interesting. 10 German and Italian prisoners of war were buried here. The vast majority of those buried here are airmen who lost their lives while training with 22 Operational Unit Bomber Command, which was based at RAF Wilmsbourne, Montford, and several other airfields near here. Trained for night bomber operations. More than 9,000 airmen completed their 8-week training course there. This is the chapel behind us. Burial service from 1943. Apparently this gentleman here, he joined Canadian Air Force just after his 18th birthday. He was killed. He say that Robert carefully removed the second plane away from. This is interesting. Right, okay. Shortly on 14th of December 1942, Robert and his crew were taking part in a training flight. On their return to the airfield, the aircraft stalled. Eyewitnesses say that Robert carefully manoeuvred the second plane away from the houses, saving many lives. All 5 men aboard were killed in the crash or died soon after. Robert and 2 other aircraft men aboard Sergeant Cruiser and Pilot Officer Lesben can be found at rest here. Many of the personnel buried here from the Royal Air Canadian Air Force. That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. I think though, I did read that, wasn't it, about the Italian and Germans at one point were buried here. Maybe they moved them to the German War Cemetery. That's another place we'll be fitting at a later date. So, oh, beautifully well kept. All these graves are. We've got photographs on some of them. And flags. This is a Canadian one here, as you can see. There's some of them here, see? 19. So young some of these though, aren't they? You think the age we are now, well I've just turned 46. And Pete, we just say he's getting on a bit. But so young, and he's, you know, so young not to be able to do so many, you know, you weren't, well, from America and Canada, they wouldn't have been old enough to drink or vote, but also old enough to fight for their country and to die for their country. We've got the Australians here as well, real Canadian. I can see what they said by there's a lot of Canadians and Americans here. There's Cruz over there. I think that was the one they were just saying on the plaque over there. Cruz, let me see. Yes, this is one of them. Yeah, 14th. This is one of them, Pete. And this young lad here, he was one of them. In that one piece I just read you, I've just seen if I can see Robbins. Yeah, so let's get there. He was only 19. See, Lisbon. That was he. Oh, he was the older of the two. He was 32. He was an observer. Just trying to see if I can find the last one. Maybe here somewhere. It's just a matter of looking around. I'll stop this for a minute. Okay, I stand corrected. They were actually not removed, the Germans. These are the Germans, and they are in there. All on a little plot on its own at the back. So obviously don't carry ranks. I noticed that before. That is our Canadians and Australians, etc., buried over there. But here are the Germans, but they do not hold rank. And at the back here we have, if you can see, Italians, 2 Italians, and the year they died. And we've got 3 more over here on their own. I believe that one's Italian as well. This one I'm going to say that's Italian. And this one's Italian. And this one's Italian. And that's quite a find. Never found anything like that before, have we?
No, never.
That's quite an amazing find. So, I do stand corrected. So, these are the prisoners of war. And they are buried in a completely different section to the Canadians, the Australians and the English over there. Which, as I said, you never know what you're going to find until you look round. Okay, so let's keep walking and see what else we can find here. This, I think, is what the gentleman who we talked to early on was on about, the massive size of these graves. They are beautiful, and these are travellers, as I was told early on, but I don't mean any disrespect by it at all. It's just that you've got to be so careful what you say these days, and as I said, it was meant no disrespect at all. And these are absolutely beautiful graves. They are. And you can see the care taken with them. You see how old some of these are, 1975. And it's just amazing how well they're looked after. And you can see this one in front of us. Never seen anything like it. And as I said, these are not, you know, these are quite old graves. And they are so well cared and looked after. There's a few over there as well, as you can see, and there's some more here. As I said, they're absolutely breathtaking, so well looked after as well. And I think we're back over the back there as well, they're well looked after. And as I said, you couldn't ask for better looked after graves. They are amazing, aren't they? Okay, so that's our little expedition.
Yep.
Expedition around Stratford Cemetery, and I said it was a last minute thing, so we didn't have time to find out anything. We just there's a cemetery over there, we're popping in and have a look.
Well, we passed it on the way out, didn't we? So
Yeah, thought we'd just go in and have a look, and here we are. Pete's falling in a hole if anybody wonders what that sound was, but he's okay, he didn't fall in. You okay?
yes, I'm fine.
He's still in one piece, people, don't worry. So
Well, hopefully, otherwise you'll have to drive back.
as I said, we keep saying these places are so full of history. It's amazing what you can come across. I found a path now, we're going to walk on the path so Pete doesn't fall again. He has got a bad ankle and it does trip him over, so we do have to be rather careful with him. It won't be the first time he's fell in a hole, would it, Pete? We'll be around.
Yeah.
So we are going to be careful with him and walk around the path, as you can see. Actually, this is going to use it. This is a roundabout in the middle, and for some reason there seems to be one grave on the middle of it. I'm not sure what that's about, but as I said, we don't really know much about this place because it was a last minute thing. And as I said, it's amazing what you can find. I said we find German prisoners of war graves, we find Italian prisoner of war graves, and it just goes on what's in this place. As I said, it is well worth going to your local cemeteries, having a look round, because you never know what you're going to find, do you?
Yeah.
And I said, like we were at Binton today, and we're walking in the footsteps of Scott. You know, it's just quite amazing, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to sign off now.